Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Jay's Beer Review. I'm actually down in New York City for the weekend with my wife for her birthday, but along the way we're going to make some stops at some craft beer bars. Some of the places we plan on stopping over the weekend is the Blind Tiger. We also plan on stopping at Gingerman, and of course Heartland Brewery, where we always stop. But we actually added a fourth dimension to this travel, and we're stopping at the Porterhouse Brewing Company. The Porterhouse Brewing Company is on, I think we're on at the corner of Broad and Pearl Street, way down by the Wall Street area or Battery Park area. And I was stopping here because I had a fan reach out to me by the name of Steve, who was at the Porterhouse Temple out in Ireland, and told me after watching my Oyster Stout review, where I thought it was like okay beer but nothing exceptional, that he said I should try on draft because it's way better, and that when I come down to New York City to come check this place out and try the Oyster Stout on draft. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So it's not a full review, it's just a kind of a retake on trying the Oyster Stout on draft to see if I like it any better and see how much better the beer is. And as you can see, there's their line of beers right there. So with that said, we are going to go ahead and give this a try and see if I like it any better than I did when I had it on the bottle. So first off, this is loaded with a nitrous CO2 to give it more of a Irish dry stout type of, like Guinness type of look and appeal. So it should be a lot more creamier, which means a lot more texture. It's extremely drinkable, very light considering that it's a dark beer, a kind of oxymoron, I guess. There's a little bit more chocolate notes to it that I remember when I had it in the bottle, and it still has that like salty taste to it, which isn't a bad thing. It actually tastes good. Extremely drinkable, not bad. I would say I do like this a little better on draft than in bottle. I still wouldn't consider it a world-class beer, but definitely an enjoyable beer. And if you're ever in New York City, come check out the Porterhouse Brewery and try some of their beers on draft. So, cheers. I am in the second stop of my beer tour of New York City craft beer bars, and now I am at the Blind Tiger. And the Blind Tiger is a beer bar that I definitely knew a lot about basically by reading the Ale Street News, and I could not wait to get the opportunity to try it. And there's probably about 20 different beers on tap, including 2 beers on cask and about 40 different bottles. And the beer I chose is the beer that they had on cask, and it is the Dudecil Cornet de Diablo. Now I've already reviewed this beer. It's an IPA, and I remember liking it a lot, but to get it on cask I had to at least try it again. So we're gonna go ahead and give this beer a try. Yeah, it's a lot warmer than I like my IPAs. I like my IPAs a little colder, but I mean, it's a really nice beer. Really soft in the mouth. The hops really come out. A nice sugary malt sweetness that goes on with it. Not quite as like citrusy as you would get from like an IPA. A little bit of pine, but not totally. Really nice soft mouthfeel. I like it a lot. Really enjoyable, and I'm glad I'm able to try this and be at the Blind Tiger. Just wish it was a little colder for an IPA. That is Dudecil Cornet de Diablo at the Blind Tiger on cask. Alright, well, it's day 2 of being in New York City, and it's also the second half of my craft New York City beer bar tour. And now I'm at the Rattle and Hum bar, which is on East 33rd Street, and I am enjoying a nice 12-ounce glass of Rogue's Double Chocolate Stout. I've been to this place before, so I knew I definitely wanted to make a trip back here. They generally do have a nice large selection of beer on tap. As you can see on the board, they have over 40 on draft at any given time. They also have a bunch of bottles, I mean endless amount of bottles, and they even have 2 cask beers as well. The cask beers that they have today, I may not get. I try to always have at least one cask beer when I go to places like this, but one of them they even put on their menu. It's a little flat right now, so I'll probably skip. And after this, we're headed to the Ginger Man, which is another great craft beer bar that I've never been to, and they generally have 3 casks on at a given time as well. So I'll make sure I get my fix of cask beer by the end of the day. So anyway, that is the Rogue Double Chocolate Stout at the Rattle and Hum Brewery, or Rattle and Hum Beer Bar in East 33rd Street in New York, New York. Cheers. Now I'm at the Ginger Man, and what I did at the Ginger Man was I changed it up a little bit because this is the mecca of all craft beer bars in New York City. They have over like 70 on draft, like 100 bottles, including 2 kegs and 2 cask and 1 gravity cask. So what I did this time, and I'm going to be actually hanging out here for a while and trying a bunch of different beers, but I actually got what they call a flight, and I got a flight of 4 different beers here. Now the beers I got were, the first one is called the Ballast Point Sextian Stout. It's a chocolate oatmeal, or it's a coffee oatmeal stout, and I like coffee stouts, I like oatmeal stouts, so I'm really looking forward to trying this and see what this one is. Second one is the Founders Double Trouble IPA. This was one of the beers I could have got when I was out in Ohio, and I chose to go with the Centennial IPA instead, which I believe was a mistake because I didn't like it. I've already snuck a sip of this one, and oh my god, the orange citrus flavor on it is amazing. So now I'm regretting I didn't get a 4-pack of that, but at least I'm getting it now. The third one is a Franziskaner. I've had it 100 times. It's a good Hefeweizen beer. I got it because I wanted to like kind of chill out a bit since I was already feeling a little buzzed from my last stop. So I wanted a nice light beer to kind of space out some of these heavy 8 and 9% alcohol beers. And the finishing up here is the Meantime Chocolate Porter. Now, I have not liked any of the Meantime beers I've had, which is only 2, but a couple people told me to try the Chocolate Porter, and since I was actually able to get it on draft, I figured why the hell not, let's give it a try and see if it's any good. Then after I'm done doing this, at 5 o'clock they have the Ballast Point Tongue Buckler coming on the gravity cask, and I basically told my waitress as soon as it's available to bring me out one, so I'll be drinking that as well. But let's just kind of quickly go through and try each one of the beers. First I'm going to try the Double Trouble IPA. It's got a real pungent smell of like catnip, or like how catnip smells. Now the flavors are extremely intense of hops, kind of like how like a really dry, intense hop flavored IPA would be, but it finishes off really nice with a really heavy blast of orange citrus flavor, and what a really nice combination. I'm going to skip the Franziskaner because I've had it 100 times, but we're going to go to the Meantime Chocolate Porter. It smells like burnt chocolate, so it actually has a good aroma. I don't know, I just don't like Meantime beers. It does have a heavy dose of chocolate, and that's noticeable. And but it feels like, I almost feel like it's masking, because in the finish I can almost taste that unpleasant sour taste that all the Meantime beers that I've had seem to have. The chocolate's nice up front, but it finishes with that sour taste that they all have. This is definitely way better than the last 2, but I just had the Rogue's Double Chocolate, and that blows it away. And let's finish up with the Ballast Point Sextian Stout. The aroma's real weak on this. I don't get a heavy dose of anything. Interesting. I hope it tastes better than it smells. That's nice. Real smooth. Real easy to drink. It's got a chocolate taste. I don't taste coffee too much, but it's extremely smooth, real nice light mouthfeel, and the bitterness is really low on this. That coffee does come in and lingers around in the finish, but the first bit is all chocolate, followed up with like a coffee finish. But anyway, that's my flight at the Ginger Man. When we get the gravity cask of the tongue buckler, we'll try that out next. So I am trying out the gravity cask of the Ballast Point tongue buckler. And basically what I was told is it's an imperial red ale, and it's been sat in, they basically took oak aged rum chips and soaked the beer in it, and it's on cask. I also was lucky enough to find out was that I am the first one to order it once they tapped it. It went on tap at 5 o'clock, and I was the first one once it was tapped, so kind of a special treat here. It has a sweet smell to it, like cherries almost. That's probably from the oaked chips that it soaks in. But a nice cherry smell to it. Anyway, let's try it out. Cheers! Ooh, that's really nice. Really smooth. It's sweet, but the sweetness is extremely low. Really malty, and it's got that almost like a oak cherry taste to it. I guess that's probably where the oak chips are coming from, but it's got almost like a chocolate covered cherry taste, but not chocolate. Just a nice oak-like cherry quality. Really nice, really smooth, nice sugary sweetness, but a light sugariness, almost like a powdered sugar. Really nice. And there's just a hint of alcohol detected. Not much, just a hint. But anyway, I'm going to enjoy this, enjoy my time at the Ginger Man, and until next time, cheers.